Hello and welcome everybody back once again to the Formula Racing League. Today, a little bit of a different race than what you may be used to. We have a bit of a one-off, fun-off, mega grid off-season championship that we're going to be taking part in here. It's not going to be one class. It's not going to be two classes. Heck, it's not even going to be three classes. 6 classes on the grid tonight. And it's going to be absolute chaos, calamity, carnage, and everything in between along with epic. I'm Mike Noss, and we are here at the wonderful Watkins Glen circuit tonight. 3.4 miles, 5.5 kilometers on a track founded all the way back in 1956 and hosted the first motor race in America. It's the birthplace to road racing in the United States, and first post-war race was held here. And we're going to be seeing a bit of a war out on circuit, no doubt. A bit of a mix in the categories. Well, let's talk a bit more about the track, I suppose. What you can see on screen here, and we are going to be going bowling, no doubt. A wonderful track, 11 corners to the left, or 11 corners total, 6 to the left and 5 to the right, 42 meters of elevation, or about 141 feet total. And this is a tough track to overtake on. It's going to be a very quali-centric track. And with the amount of back markers you're going to be dealing with, heck, I don't know how many we're even going to be dealing with, to be completely honest. We'll be finding out very, very shortly. It's been a 75-minute qualifying these drivers have had to take part in, but don't worry, we have pretty much fast-forwarded that all the way down to the final 10 minutes, which we will be jumping into, well, right about now. There we can see the wonderful cars out on circuit, loads and loads of different machines in various categories, all doing various lap times. And currently the man on screen right now, Vincenzo Sentore, is on pole position in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo machine. That is, I wouldn't have predicted that, and as we speak there, Yevhen Artemenko takes the throne in the GT2 category. Now, I would have predicted the GT2s to be fastest. That seems to be the logical decision. However, 30,000 separating the two right now. It's quite the tight margin, splitting hairs, and let's see if Sentore can improve here. I don't think he will be able to this time around, no. Getting around some of the M2s, giving it a little bit of a slipstream down the start-finish straight as well. Will it help him? Will it hurt him? Let's find out in a couple miles. Other drivers out there for sure. We see Artem Sankun in 3rd position right now in the GT2 categories, not out on circuit. Neither is Bogomaz in the GT2s. James Cowley in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo in 5th position. And looking at it, why don't we break down this time chart here just for a moment, because we can see it's a bit confusing unless you look down at the BMWs. This is a bit more of a category I can get my head around. We see lap times all very consistent with each other, 15s to the 20s, and that's going to be it. We're going to see the M2s pretty much battling by themselves and the rest of the categories battling it out with each other. We have the Ferrari Challenge cars. Now, if you pay close attention to the timing charts, you can see that the bright red/orange on the GT2s and that little triangle next to their nameplate, that signifies they're in that GT2 category. Where if we look down here to Nopec, you see that gray, that's signifying he's in a Porsche Cup. Gray, green, navy, I don't know, I'm not a color theorist. You let me know in chat what color that is. But it is, of course, going to be grayish for right now. And behind them, we see another GT2, the KTM, but behind that GT2, there's a dark red plate. If you squint hard enough down in 16th position, you can see the difference in colors between 15th and 16th right now. That's signifying that GT2 and the oh my goodness, Ferrari Challenge, as there's a polystyrene sponsor board that just distracted me as it flies across the screen there. It seems, though, the Ferrari Challenge is, whilst rapid in a straight line, not the quickest through the corners, and with there being so many high-speed corners here, it's just not quite able to match up to the Super Trofeo in pace. Normally, you expect those two cars to be relatively similar to each other, but not this time, it seems. And, of course, last but not least, in the names of the categories, we have the GT4s, one that you might be a bit more familiar with if you've been driving ACC for a while. The lesser-powered, more mechanically dripped cars than the GT3s, that is, and out on circuit. A little bit quicker than the M2s. We're going to be seeing that, I would imagine, as we are currently seeing Kirill here get held up massively by two of them, in fact, as they're just trying to dance their way around. And as we come on to the start-finish straight, inside line is picked, and Matinko, apologies on the mispronunciations for everybody in advance, does get by before the braking zone. The Aston Martin should have a nice chance here to get a lap underway, and we'll see how that goes. So, are you confused yet, chat? Because I am. We'll be, obviously, as the race gets going, even more confused. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This is going to be a really fun championship, a really fun race, and the drivers, I don't think anyone really knows what to expect, to be completely honest. There's a lot of variables, heck, 6 variables at least, as we have 6 different categories. What is that going to entail? That I don't think anyone can really predict right now. I've never seen this style of grid done before, and it is an exciting one nonetheless. Let's see here what Jorge has, though, as he comes across the line, and Nuno stays 41st quickest right now. Speaking of 41st quickest, what a grid. 46 cars. That's a mega grid if I've ever seen one, no doubt. Random BMW there, stranded off stage left. Not quite going to be too much of a threat right now. Yevhen Artemenko definitely has claimed the throne right now. Nobody else in the top runners is out and going for that time. With that, of course, still plenty of M2s out there, still some Porsche Cups. I think this is a split qualifying. To some extent, I don't think it is. It's 75-minute qualifying, so I figured it would just be a mega quali, but to be honest, again, we're just here for the ride. This is a heck of a grid, and we're going to be seeing an absolute electric show here tonight. Again, I'm your host, Mike Noss, here on that Formula Racing League TV YouTube channel. Big thank you to everyone that is joining us here tonight. If you guys are enjoying it, do hit that subscribe button, as it is free over here on YouTube, and that like while you're down there. Of course, we have plenty of content here on the Formula Racing League, and lots to do so as well. Head on over to our SimGrid for more information about every championship they run, which is quite a few. Now, with that being said, 44 seconds left in qualifying. We're down to the final laps, and this is where you can make or break it. Everyone can have their nose to the grindstone. You can see that big old Maserati in the background there, just out of shot, or just in shot, I should say. And that is going to be piloted by none other than, let's see if I can get a selected, Craig Lawyer in the DT Racing. Currently sitting 23rd and held up in the worst possible way through the S's, going the long way around, and that's going to go a long way into the barrier. Craig Lawyer looked Death in the eyes and said, "Take your best shot," which Death has replied by punching him in the face. Not quite the way he wanted to end his qualifying, but it's neither here nor there. The BMW of David Hill, he carries on and will continue on like nothing ever happened. He was not the one that happened to, but either way, he doesn't care. He's just trying to set the best lap he can right now, currently sitting down on pole position for the M2 category. Let's see if he can hold on. Going through the final sector now, the boot and shoot and into the heel, up to the top of the lip of the boot. What's the lip of a boot called? I don't really know. Let me know again in chat. Welcome everyone. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning wherever you are in this fine world, regardless if you're watching live or the VOD. Thank you very much for tuning in. The AOA Racing. Look at the aggressive Spitfire I'm not sure who originated it, but the World War II-esque design on the side there, sort of like a fighter pilot. David Hill here, he's piloting his way to pole position, but let's see if that can hold. It's currently about a half-second margin over Graham Potter. Now, Graham into pit lane. Well, a man of my own heart here, practicing his pit entries, and it looks like he needs it. This old-style pit lane catching him out there as he sped on in and got shot into the pit box. Hopefully he doesn't do that in the actual race session. Hopefully all of these drivers have practiced their pit entries and not elected to, or won't elect to take a stop go 30. Now, let's see. One driver left here, and that's Giovanni Zicci. Down in 35th position, he's currently looking at no improvement. Oh, he was almost looking at a barrier, but he is going to come to the line regardless and stay 35th quickest overall, and in class, that's just enough for the top 4. Now, as we get ready here, the drivers rearing and ready to go on the grid. It's going to be about a 4-minute start up here before we get into the meat and potatoes that is going to be this 1.5 hour race. 90 minutes for the drivers to decide who is on top. And my goodness, I have no idea. Again, let us know in chat who you are predicting. Let us know what the optimal strategy is for these drivers, as I'm not sure there even is one, to be completely honest. But we can see, though, as we come back down to the grid, all of these wonderful, wonderful machines on circuit. We have a GT2 on pole, a Lamborghini Super Trofeo in second, with another GT2 in third, and then, of course, GT2 Super Trofeo. So a bit of a mixed bag in the front, but as we get down to it here, we see another 2 GT2s, followed up by a Porsche Cup car, and this is where the Cup cars start to come into play. I don't expect them to be necessarily at the top of the field, but you never know. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. And we see this big mix, the kettle of, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have enough anecdotes to describe the exact fortitude of this grid. I mean, just look at how intense it is with all of the different manufacturers, the Lamborghinis, the categories, and the likes. And as we get further and further back, we'll speed this up a little bit. We got plenty of time to go through all of these cars and see all of the liveries as well that were uploaded properly. We can see down here, now into the GT4 category, the Ginettas, the BMWs, and the likes. And as we keep on going, of course, the BMW M2 category, where we have the spec series down at the bottom, and the random AMG GT4 bringing up the back of the grid. And that is Watkins Glen. It's the name of the game. Can these drivers execute it? As we get ready to get into it, the fans frozen in anticipation, the occasional hand being thrown up for excitement. These drivers, look at this, all of these fans, a great view of the action that they're going to have. The catch fence just in the way. Let's get some front row viewing here. Look at that. That's just an absolute amazing spectacle to be down here in New York, in Watkins Glen, one of the namesake tracks of America. And for anyone curious as well, there just so happens to be over 300 bird species in the area here of Watkins Glen, some of which including gray catbirds, Canada gooses, yellow warblers, and of course, the American bald eagle. Cue fortunate sons and screeching in the background with pictures of cheese. How American can we get? American commentator for the, European grid and the American track. Very fitting, I would say. 1 minute, though, before the drivers begin their outlap here. This is where the nerves start to boil. They start to bubble up, and drivers start to get a little bit antsy. You feel the sweat dripping down the places that sweat drips down, as well as, of course, on the wheel. Hopefully the driver's bringing their racing gloves to there to make it so it's not the most uncomfortable to experience. Welcome as well to everybody in chat. I see we got Tom Brunel joining us. We got JR's Sim Racing, as well as King Phoenix. Let us know who you're supporting out there, chat. Let us know what drivers you want to see taking the win. Let us know where you want to see your drivers finishing it, because again, this is a mixed category. The drivers are not battling for the win necessarily. They're battling for the winning class, which makes all the difference. And as we can hear these engines starting up, the V10 singing up at the front of the grid, the Lamborghini powered by that Audi V10, and then the, Audi V10 powered by the, yes, you guessed it, Audi V10. 5.2 liters of excellence in German manufacturing behind the seat and over the front, yes, in front of the rear axles. This is a mid-engined car, not a rear-engine car, not unlike the Porsches. We got mid-engine, we got rear-engine, we got front-engine, the whole lot, and the kit and caboodle out there tonight. Nopec rounding out the rear-engine cars and being in the front runner for them. No. We have Brizzle in chat, the number 111. Let's take a look at them. Let's see, where are they on circuit? I see the 110. It's a loaded grid, jam-packed, and plenty of drivers to count. I see the 112. We've officially surrounded the number. Where's the 111? Am I blind? Am I blind? I don't think I'm blind. Or I am blind. One of the two. Either way, I don't see them out on circuit. Brizzly. Let's see what we can make happen here. I wonder if their number got changed due to SimGrid and whatnot. Check out the 112s. Where's one? There's the 110. Artem. He was there. Did he go into the pits? I'm not seeing. He might have had a. I hope he didn't have a disconnect. That'd be really unfortunate. Again, I could just be blind, but I am not seeing that name on the grid, unfortunately. Again, keeping an eye out here. Where'd the 112 go? Just keep an eye again. Maybe it was a bit of a mistake for numbers. 112's on pole position. That's Centauri, of course. My apologies. So no, I'm unfortunately not seeing Brizzly or Brizzle. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Hopefully I'm getting one of those two correct. And hopefully we see him out on circuit. It's not too late for them to get out there. Let's have pit lane start. Potential server issues arrive. Potential technical, mechanical, something along those lines. This is racing. 16th. Currently not him. Lots of names to pay attention to, but that is not one that I'm seeing, unfortunately. I do apologize, JR Sim Racing. I appreciate you still tuning in, though. I really appreciate that. Big thank you to everyone joining us out here. Hopefully, again, hopefully we can get them back in the server and out on track. That's the obvious goal for everyone. We don't want any DNFs early on. Just never the way you want to play a championship out. We're all here, though, for a good time at the end of the day, and it's all about the fun. So let's have a bit of fun out there. Let's have these drivers get ready to roll, and I'm still eager to see exactly what's going to happen. The Lamborghini Super Trofeo, kind of a car that I don't really know that much about, to be completely honest. I knew a bit about it when it came out. I know that it obviously has a bit of, well, the 5.2 naturally aspirated V10. It's got about 611 brake horsepower with 570 Newton meters of torque and weighs in at just under 3,000 pounds, or about 1,350 kilograms. So, well, it's a heavy car, but either way, all these cars are quite chonky and heavy, as the GTs often are. But let's get into it. This is the first time I think I've ever said this. As we get ready to go to green here, 2x2 Noah's Ark formation, a Lamborghini Super Trofeo lined up alongside a GT2. Let's see how things roll. The Porsche Cup's in the background, 6 different categories with 1.5 hours on the clock. Let's get ready, see how this action's going to unfold as we go green, and the Lamborghini is shot out of the start like a cannon. Not the same story for Artemenko, as he's going backwards and a little bit of bumping and banging in a straight line, and as we get into the braking zone, 3 abreast, someone has to give. That's Bogomaz and Cowley. Cowley currently into the background, the Lamborghini there trying to fend for a position, but as we get into the S's, someone has to back out, and that is the Lamborghini of Cowley. Artemenko negates the damage to a certain extent there. Still loses out massively, though, to Sankun and Centauri. Here we go again, though. Back 3 wide into the inner loop. Never where you want to be. It's AMG and AMG down here for the GT2 category. Curb flying and cars all over the circuit. Yellow flags are awry. Something has gone on in the background. It looks like the 72 of the GT4 is getting caught up there. Nico Veldeman also in a bit of a tear. These drivers just getting to the inner loop themselves, whilst the drivers in the front already round the outer loop. Let's take a look, though, back for the lead of this race. Senatore, Sankun in the front. Are they going to scrap it out, or are they going to bide their time here? Looking at the car body language of the GT2. Now, also just keep in mind, these two don't need to fight. They both can win this race in category. It's not about the overall winner, of course, but it is in these drivers' pride and in their hearts. Background here of Artemenko trying to do the damage recovery here. He is currently dealing with more pressure than a submarine at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, to be completely honest. Behind him, Nikita Bogomaz and James Cowley, two drivers that gave him a run for the money down the start-finish straight and looking to do so once more. Cowley here in the slipstream. Are we going to be close enough? No, I think we're just a little bit too far back this time. Bogomaz doing a great job of fending off. Let's take a look at the Porsche Cup cars. We haven't talked about them too much, and Benjamin Eck leading this category, the Swede in the Marcus Ericsson Carrera Cup 2023. That rolls off the tongue very easily. Pressuring, though, one of the GT2s. Now, I'd imagine he's not too intent on getting the move done. However, if he does get by Craig Law, that would allow a bit of a cushion. That will allow it so Benjamin doesn't have John Benton right behind him and biting a hole in his rear bumper like Swiss cheese. Now, we also, of course, have Philip here, not out of the conversation just yet. The Tiger Clan Racing looking to make by, though, these Porsche Cup cars. They're a bit of a thorn in the side right now. Taking a look back in the other categories. We got 6 categories to talk about here, chat. We can do this all night. We have Peter Davids not leading. It's actually Kirill Matenko down in 19th overall, but first in the GT4 category, and certainly has been involved with a little bit of scrapping, no doubt, as he's had a bit of a, well, punch to the face, no other way of putting it, and so has Tom Burnell, and he is going backwards as a result. No, hopefully, I mean, we see him come into pit lane soon. One mandatory stop for these drivers, though at an hour and a half, you definitely want to space that out towards the middle of the race, make it as long as you can. It's just not optimal to pit that early. And we have some cheers going for Gettin and Ian Thompson, and let's go Scotland. Oh, okay, so we're rooting on for the Scottish drivers out there. Very, very interesting. I had a pun. What was my pun? We'll figure it out. I have a great Scottish pun that I heard the other day, but I'll save myself the embarrassment. Let's take a look now up front once more as we have a potential change for the leader. If I am Senatore, I'm not fighting this, and I'm not. Great choice. All right, call it as it is there. Senatore says, yeah, sure, let's not go side by side and end each other's race with only 5 minutes in. Let's settle this one like men with 5 minutes left. There's still plenty of time for racing. We can decide it all later. These three, similar story. I don't think any movement is going to be happening too much, and well, I would say the same for these two, but the car body language of Balagov does not say so. Bjorn Dale under pressure, and well, going to continue that trend, I would imagine. One thing to keep in mind, Watkins Glen, an abrasive circuit. Oh, hold on here. What's happened to Zarkov? Zarkov here, is that a bit of an off? No, wait, it wasn't Zarkov. No, that's a 991. The 919 is who I'm looking for. And I can't quite find them. There we go. Okay, I found him. There we go. Daniel Bovcom? I do apologize on the mispronunciations, but my goodness, that Porsche has been through the ringer. Let's look at Craig Jones in the Long Smile Ferrari Challenge. It's been a bit of a challenge for the Ferraris, it seems. Now we see the two Porsche Cup cars looking to make quick and easy work in the final corner. Is this a dive into pit lane from Keenan? It is. A very early stop from the Irishman. Keenan going for a bit of luck here. Can he find it? Let's see. That might result in a stop later. That's the problem that I have with this, is of course you're potentially risking adding an extra pit stop to your tally, and that will be an unwelcome trip down pit lane. Here at Watkins Glen, it's not the absolute worst, but it's certainly not the best. With a drive-through penalty, or just basically going through pit lane with a refuel, you're looking at about 35 seconds lost, or otherwise about 26% of your lap. Now, if you take tires, you're looking at about 60% of your lap lost. So looking to minimize that, of course, the tire's going to be graining away once you hit the middle of the race, but that's a problem to worry about in the future. Right now, you can only go for the present. And, well, hopefully it's not a lump of coal as your present. Hope everyone had a great holiday season. Happy New Year to everybody, and hope happy holidays as well. Hopefully, again, everyone getting back into the swing of things, getting their working again, and back up to, you know, swing of things is, of course, nobody wants to go back to work after the holidays, but we all have to. And here we are. Everyone, though, on circuit, going to work with each other. Let's take a look again back for the GT4 category here. We've just had a change in position, and Machenko did not want to fight that too hard. He allowed Craig Lawyer... No, that's Nico Veldman. Why does it say Craig Lawyer head? Oh, because it hasn't updated. ACC Timing Tower is notoriously accurate. Nico Veldman now ahead of Machenko. I hope that's how you say that. And Veldman looking to walk away into the sunset and hopefully catch up with Craig Lawyer and Alan Palmer on another day, or well, hopefully on the same day, but in another moment. It's a long ways to go for these drivers, and now it's getting into that maintenance phase depending on where you are. It's a little early to start the maintenance phase, but of course, for some drivers, it's all about damage control. It's all about the long term. Oh, let's take a look a little bit further ahead here, because what has happened to Senatore? Senatore's fallen off the back of Sauken. I thought those two were going to be playing ball with each other for quite a while, but no. Artemenko looking to change things up here a little bit and have a little shake-up on the podium running. Trying to go around the outside of the S's. Where are we at on circuit right now? Heel, yes. Looking to potentially make a move now down to the inside. Can he go late enough onto the brakes? Artemenko there a little bit behind, and Senatore not willing to give this up without a fight. Here we are going to see these two bulls potentially locking horns here. The Lamborghini in front with the Audi behind. And no dice just yet, but Artemenko needs to be careful. All of this moving, all of this posturing or telegraphing that he's doing to Senatore is also telegraphing a bit of weakness to Bogamaz behind, saying, well, okay, if he's going to go for an alternate line in this corner trying to make a move, I'm going to send it on the racing line in this corner to make the move happen myself. Bogamaz, it's all about critical decision-making right now, because he also has Cowley right in his wing mirror, not going anywhere. Cowley, on, again, that damage control started where he is currently, 5th position. The only real driver that's dropped anything is Artemenko. And there we see back markers now playing a role already. We're only 10 minutes into this race, and the M4s have already been, M4, yes, no, M2s. Didn't sound right when I said it out loud, that's for sure. What's happened to Sunken? We have a spinner in the front, and that's going to allow Artemenko and Bogamaz to go side by side for the lead of this race. Devastation for the number 7. Switchback attempt, though, for Artemenko as he goes all out trying to sink his claws into the back of the Lamborghini. But no, Senatore back leading this race. It's a game of damage negation, and Sunken has unfortunately sunken down the field and down to 13th position. He still has the fastest lap. That's just a bit of consolation at this point, and thankfully no barrier was made contact with. So a little bit of an overcommitment, a little bit of a spin, but at the end of the day, it's still on for him potentially. A good podium finish is not out of the cards just yet. A lot of work to be done, though, and with these drivers scrapping away in the front, well, it'll come to fruition for anybody. Jan Barth, welcome as well. Yes, indeed, this is Mike Noss behind the booth. Welcome, everybody. Will I comment? Okay, hold that thought, because we have, give me a moment here. Give me a couple moments, because James Cowley getting aggressive and getting the move on to Bogamaz goes down to the inside, and he makes that one look easy. No back markers required, and the M2 there getting caught up at just the right time. Great job there from the M2s as well to hold their lines and just not compromise it. Make the other cars do the harder work, as that is the responsibility, of course, of the faster car. It's always to make sure that it's done safely, cleanly, and without issue. Oh, speaking of, I was thinking Artemenko was looking to get a move on there, but no, he doesn't just yet, though I have to say, Artemenko is reeling in Senatore hook, line, and sinker. It's just a bit of a fight right now, and I guess Senatore, or I should say Artemenko, wrestling the ocean. I think that's about the description of what he's feeling right now, the frustration, the almost futile efforts that he's put forth thus far, but still, it's resulted in a P2, so nothing to shake a stick at. It's all about locking in and looking forward, just as Blagov here is trying to do as well and get the move done on Bjorn Dale, who I think they've traded positions. I think this has been a swapperoo at some point, with Bjorn Dale now leading these two out. Looking a bit further down the field, Benjamin Eck under pressure from Thomas Lopez. Everywhere you go, there's an in-category battle because, hey, there's 6 categories to battle, and this is, well, I'm here for it. We haven't checked in with the M2s in a while, have we? Graham Potter leading, David Hill in second, and Mariano in third. It's actually quite a clear-cut, I don't want to say dance, but it's, everyone's just kind of settled in the M2s right now. Will I commentate for Le Mans Ultimate when it gets started, asks Straw. Yes, I definitely plan on doing so. I have already, over at Trackalicious, we've done the Le Mans Ultimate League that we do on Fridays. I commentated that with Sagar Bakshi. But yes, I'm certainly hoping to get more involved with Le Mans Ultimate as it becomes more popular, as it gets going. And of course, as I am buzzing about here for the next, what is it, looking at, we're currently on the second, 11 days away, 10 days away or something. We have, of course, AC Evo that's going to be dropping, which I am more excited for than anything, to be completely honest. Yes, Le Mans Ultimate, I'm excited for the prospects, but I cannot wait to see what Evo brings to the cards for everybody. It is, I don't know, they've been confident, and I'm looking forward to it. Also, JR saying 100% extra stop there because there's not enough fuel. Yeah, absolutely, for Keenan. It's unfortunate to see that early of a stop, and still a few drivers, I think, have made their stops as well. Quite a few, in fact. Tom Brunel did. We've had Jim Emanuelson do so. John Stalling, I almost said John Sterling. I've been watching too much Scott Sterling. Either way, good call. I don't know why I was watching those videos last night. Anyone familiar with Scott Sterling in chat? Either way, that's neither here nor there. That's completely irrelevant. Quite irrelevant, in fact. But if you haven't seen it, definitely go look it up when you're done with this. It's worth a watch if you haven't heard of it. Thomas Nopek looking to change things up in the lead of the Porsche Cup cars. So far, been a Picasso-like performance for Nopek, but we all know that the paintbrush can slip at certain times. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on that, JRS, but they have, I mean, by November, what they're saying, over 100 cars and 25 plus tracks, so prospects are looking good in the short term, I would say, even for the fact that it's not going to be complete on release. I just want to give it a shot. I have hope, chat. I have hope. I may not be an optimist. I'm a realist, but but I have hope. I'm optimistic about this. Now, let's check back to our previous race leader and see how he is going on. It looks like he's elected to strap on a fresh set of boots. Unlucky. Let's just put it that way. Unlucky. He's coming for some probably damage repair as well. I thought he missed the barrier. He might not have. Either way, it was affecting the balance of the car, and he wanted to come in for a stop, and he's back out onto circuit. Not, again, how he drew this one up at this stage. Getting by the back markers there. Not too bad at all, but let's take a look again back for these two. And Benjamin Eck getting the move on right now. Thomas Nopek, I should say, gets the move for the lead. We watch it unfold right in front of our eyes as Benjamin Eck didn't look too keen on fighting that one. He kind of just handed it over when the writing was on the walls. It wasn't really a hard-fought one, which, again, to be fair, we're only 15 minutes into this race right now. Why would you? You're just giving it all for, well, pretty much nothing. You're just going to be making your tires' job a bit harder later on. For anyone that has, whoa, goodness, hold that thought as well, as we have a bit of an in too deep there. Vincenzo Santore has been listening to a little bit too much Sum 41. He's taking the lyrics too literally. Let's see, though. Artemenko, under threat as well. James Cowley looks to the inside, but doesn't commit on the brakes. To be completely honest, I don't know who has better brakes between the Super Trofeo and the GT2s. I've never driven the Audi GT2, and I've never driven the Super Trofeo, so I'm going to have to rely on chat to help me out with this one. I don't like this, though. Here we go. Down towards the inner loop. James Cowley not going to look for the move. Okay, I do like that. smart decision making. We've all seen what happens when you go side by side into the inner loop. It can be dangerous, it can be deadly, and race ending. Those little orange bullards, if you want to call it, they're not bullards, but orange construction walls, I don't know what they're called. Those things don't move. They are bolted into the ground deeper than an oil rig. They're not going anywhere if you hit them at 200 miles an hour. So I wouldn't recommend. Oh, and a bit of a miscommunication, but nothing getting too out of shape there with one of the Janettas just kind of getting in the not wrong place at the wrong time, but almost so. Could have been a bit dicey there for the 187. Thankfully, not the case. Cowley, though, is looking to get the move on quick. He smells blood in the water right now, and this is potentially on. Let's see as we get down here towards the final few corners, into the penultimate, and then round the final. This 90, the first corner, best possible move on the circuit, but you gotta be close. And just looking at the top speed, I think the Super Trofeo is outmatched by the GT2s. Let's take a look over at the pit wall. The fastest cars in a straight line are the AMG GT2s, followed up by the Audi GT2s, and then the Lamborghini, or not, excuse me, the Ferrari Challenge also in the mix at 276 kilometers an hour respectively, but 281 for the AMGs. I don't know what they put in their race tanks. Oh goodness, oh goodness, oh goodness. Holy smokes. All right, everyone gets away alive. That was close. Not the first time we're going to be seeing the back marker dance, and probably not the first time, or well, that we're going to be seeing a bit of dicey moments with back markers as well. That's obviously one of the challenges with multi-class racing, and when you have 6 different classes, it can get a bit interesting, to put it lightly. Still, though, fight on at the front for the M2s. It's a bit of a yo-yo effect here between these two. I've been keeping an eye strictly on these 3 drivers for a while now, and I do apologize to the rest of the field, but I sense a pressure cooker moment here underway, and it's just a matter of time before we see this thing basically blow up. And I just can't predict when. We see Artemenko starting to pull away, and then all of a sudden he catches up to a back marker, and then, we see Senatore start to pull away, and then Artemenko catches up because of a back marker. And now Artemenko getting held up slightly by a back marker, and that allows Cowley a chance, but Cowley isn't quick enough at times to get the move on. Basically, what I'm saying is, I don't have a PhD enough to describe this. This is a heck of a situation that we're seeing, and this is the best possible chance, though, for Cowley. He gets a good slingshot onto the start-finish straight. It forces the Audi to go defensive. He goes even more offensive. We go 3 wide with a back marker, and discretion is the better part of valor. And this time, Artemenko gets the best of Cowley, but Cowley, I think, is figuring him out. He's starting to punch away at him. It's sort of like Mike Tyson and Fury back in the 90s, a heavyweight bout between these two, and they're just drawing blows right now. And it's strategic blows, no contact just yet. Oh, just yet is the key word, though, as we go into the inner loop. That can easily change in a matter of moments. This time, though, not going to happen. Cowley maybe just needs to back off for a bit, but again, I say that, and he has his number down the start-finish straight. He just doesn't have the numbers on his speedometer. They're just not high enough. The GT2 reaches them quicker, and as a result, he is getting walked away from. Same can be said, though, for Bogomaz. He cannot quite keep up right now, and just on his lonesome with Bjorn Dale in the background. And this is Blagov going for a move. That is so not how you pronounce that name. Somebody in chat, please help me with it. Is it Blagov? Mispronunciation. I apologize, Danielle, or Dial. Doesn't get the move, though. Not yet. The 57 here. Oh, thinking about it, using a back marker there to his advantage, but that would have been a bit of a, well, send from a mile away if you want to make that one stick. Again, prioritizing aggression over adhesion, never something that you want to be hearing in an endurance race. So far, mostly everyone on their best behavior, minus the incidents early on. We've had a bit of bumping, we've had a bit of banging, but all in all, hasn't been the worst to be said. We do have some drivers, though, electing for a pit stop, and yeah, I can see why, to be fair. There's a bit of damage here on this M2. Certainly not how the showroom had drawn it up. The aerodynamicist not too happy. Same can be said with Craig Lawyer. Oh, goodness. Let's go back and see exactly what happened here. So Craig, with a GT2, approaching his rear, going into the braking zone. Oh, he forgot to brake. Oh no, and he clips the back. Oh, it's such a, honestly not a bad, that wasn't too bad, to be completely honest. Gets back out on track with minimal damage, but maybe wants to take a pit stop. We'll see. Could have been worse. Could have been better, but could have been worse. He just missed his braking zone. A significant lack of the middle pedal is my proptosis on that one. But I guess I'm not a doctor. John Benton looking to get the surgical move, though, onto Benjamin Eck. So far, well, we've seen he's not a doctor or a surgeon either. He's looking to make it maybe not as clean as he would have hoped. We can see the battling up front. That's back marker squabbling, actually. There's no fight there, I don't think, for position. Just looking at the timing tower. In fact, speaking of the timing tower, where do we put the relative? If ACC TV will allow me to. It's one of these buttons. There we go. It's randomized every time. And we can see the relative times to who is around and who is where and what back marker is doing what. And uh-oh, Craig Lawyer has become a chicane and a hairpin. What's happened now? Whoa, it looks like a bit of unshapedness, and oh no, the 83 getting caught up in a parking lot. That's not how he had... Oh, no, and he backs up. Oh, goodness. Oh, unlucky for the... is that Nuno? That is Nuno Jorge. But, I mean, he handled as well as he could have. Just an unlucky positioning there for Nuno. And he will live to tell the tale on another day. Back to the front. Oh my, Senatore, after dropping it now with Artemenko in the lead, Senatore is a bull that sees red, and he sees almost the inside quarter panel of Cowley. No contact made, Lamborghini on Lamborghini violence. This is when the bulls lock horns, no doubt. Senatore, Cowley, scrapping away, while Artemenko looks to walk away with this one into the distance and potentially secure himself a bit of buffer room early on. That would be a very welcoming experience there to our current leader. But is it going to work out that way? No plan survives first contact, especially with the enemy, and Senatore, he's almost being the enemy of himself right now, falling off the back there by about a second. Let's check in on our previous leader again. Sucken, who has made their pit stop. Still, though, I think they have one more to make. I don't think they can make it on fuel down to the very end. It'll be close. It'll be close. I don't know what the fuel is for these GT2s. But he is currently rocking 15th position and currently about 5.1 seconds to the good of Alan Palmer. Alan Palmer about 38 seconds to the good of Chris Jones. It's a long ways left here for our previous leader, the number 7. And we'll see what he can manage here. It's just about damage recovery. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. Let's take a look at Blagov, though, and Law. Craig here, sweating like a cow in a burger joint, I would imagine. He's got 2 AMGs right in his mirror, and one of them looking to put a move on very soon. Not this time, though. Not this time just yet. But, of course, we know that 1 is the loneliest number, 2 tickets to paradise, and 3 times a lady. Let's see if Bjorn Dale can join this conversation as well. Senatore, though, is overdriving. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Let's go on board here with Vincenzo. You can see as he negotiates the back markers, has a great view of Cowley's rear bumper. He obviously would like to change that back to the way it was in the past, where he was the lead car and Cowley was back in 3rd. Now, though, of course, the shoe being on the other foot, you can only do so much. Senatore with a long ways to go. Time is on his side right now. That's something we have really, we've mentioned a couple times, but we will continue to do so because he has this race if he can just wait. Now, again, Is it going to be down to category? Which car is better on their tires? Is it the Audi? Is it the Lamborghini? I don't know, is the short answer. Again, I'm typically more of a GT3 guy, like I think most people are in Assetto Corsa Competizione, GT3s or GT4s. So seeing this variety out there, well, throws a monkey wrench in the equation, and I don't know what's going to happen, and I love that. That's what makes things very fun. Big shout out to FRL for putting on such an amazing event. And whoa. Centaure, excuse me. No, it is Senatore. Apologies, I've been mispronouncing that wrong one way or another. I'm not sure which. But, hopefully one of them is properly incorrect. Either way. Oh my. A little bit close. Senatore, though, Senatore knows how big his car is. Knows where to place the bull in order to not have any form of, any spears being thrown on the side there. Same positions, different lap for these two drivers, the 57 and the 226, at war with each other. So far, this battle has been one of the greatest things since sliced bread. It's just these drivers need to be careful not to become toast. And as they negotiate the back markers, it's very easy to do exactly that. Uh-oh. Sakin. Artem is off again. This is a good day gone bad. It's spoiled, unfortunately, like milk on this one. And this is just an unforced error. A little too much right foot for Sakin, and thankfully nobody going to be collecting him. He gets out of the way, rejoins the circuit with just a bit of damage on his pride, no damage on the machine. Would say unlucky, but I think it's a bit of frustration playing a bit of role in that as well. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Often you start to see red, and the red can amplify into, well, sometimes a red Aramco. This time it's just a silver one. Looking at the back of Craig Law. Whoa, a little bit of a kiss to the barrier. Now, I think Sterling Moss was once quoted in saying that on Monaco, the perfect lap, you want to kiss the wall. You don't want to hit it, you don't want to clip it, you don't want to miss it. You want to just kiss it, brush up against it. Craig there did a little bit more than that. He gave it a nice little a pat on the back. We'll call it that way. And just a reminder, hey, there's a wall there, Craig. And now, Daniel here, looking to potentially give him a run for his money onto the outside of the inner loop. It's going to have to be the long way around, but thankfully we see some heads-up driving from both of them. In fact, both drivers getting a bit out of shape. Blagov there really getting out of shape and almost allowing Bjorn Dale to capitalize. In fact, Bjorn there gets a bit of a wobble himself, the front end not snapping up on the outer loop. We can see some background squabbling between back markers as well, just out of shot. But these three at each other's throat like a knife fight in a phone booth. So far, though, nothing has spilled out. Nothing has boiled over. It's been very respectful, surprisingly so, from these drivers. Let's take a look back further here. This is for position. This is Nigel Longden getting by Eugene Torkin in in position battle, but no categories, respectfully. This is the Ferrari Challenge versus the GT4s. Some other fights that we have, well, Eugene here looking to get past, obviously, he just got past. Philip here on the back of Carlson as well. The Tiger Clint, I love that livery. The three-tone-esque, down to the inside, though, gets the move on and gets it done without really thinking. I don't think Carlson had too much of an intent of staying ahead. What is going on in the background here? Oh goodness, this is Porsche on Porsche violence. Hold on, this is for position. This is Benton and Eck down to the inside. Eck getting a huge squeeze, and he doesn't get the move. Benton, great job defending the Puncture Pro Racing. I might want to call it the Picture Perfect Racing is what I wanted to say. At least that's how that defense went. Let's see if he can keep that trend in turn. Benjamin Eck, though, we've seen him before. He's quite the rapid driver. In fact, I've seen him in plenty of Porsche Cups. I don't think he's too well averse to this machine. He knows how to drive it. He knows how to wring the neck of this no traction control beast, rear-engined, flat six as well. Of course, that 4.0 liter naturally aspirated engine sitting behind the rear axle, only slightly, but still behind the rear axle of the driveline, or of the rear axle, whatever you want to call it, making it a bit rear-engined. Now, Eck, though, this should be textbook move on and over with, I would imagine. Benjamin here just catching the mistake from Betten. He ran a little bit wide, and then he gets him done to the inside. That is what you call a textbook move. Just playing the waiting game there for Benjamin. He waits for the perfect opportunity that John Betten presented, and as soon as he gets that opportunity, he grabs it with both hands and moves up into second position in category. Next up the road for Benjamin, that is Thomas Nopek, still leading the category in the Porsche Cup by a good margin as well. The Polish driver on pole, while looking to keep that trend. Let's see what happens. Back down here, this is more GT2 squabbling. This is again Law, Balagov, and Dale. Oh goodness. Balagov to the outside. Please back out. Thank you. Oh no, a bit of a mistake though from Law. Is this what Balagov wanted? No, it's not. Well, I mean, it is, but it's not the full opportunity that he was looking for. That's for certain. Oh, these cars are overdriving so much right now. Craig Law at 110%. Balagov looking like he's at about 106. And Dale, well, he's sitting at about 102 right now, just trying to keep with these two drivers. Needs to be careful. Keep it between the mayo and the mustard. That's the goal. Oh my goodness. Dale saw I was going to say a barn door open. I wouldn't call it that. Saw the kitchen cupboard open and thought, I'm going to try to slide into the... It didn't work out. It didn't work out at all. Balagov, you're going to have to wake up pretty early in the morning to catch him sleeping for that inside move. Taking a look back to the Porsches. Benjamin Eck still leading Betten, but I don't know if this is going to stay. These two looking like they're about dead even when it comes down to it. Benjamin Eck, fastest lap overall is a 146.9 compared to a 147.0 of Betten. Uh-oh. Whoa, what is going on for the lead? We got backmarker chaos, calamity, and contact. James Cowley has been received the death blow, to be honest. Oh no, let's go back and take a look at what just happened. So here we're keeping an eye on Cowley. He is the black Lamborghini trying to negotiate the backmarker. The Ferrari challenge just doesn't see him. He moves over and punts him off to the side there. A miscommunication, to say the least, and the results are catastrophic. Absolutely gutting here for the British driver, and oh no, more contact unfolding. Lap 19, getting the best of some of these drivers. Oh, let's see what happened here as we go down to the inner loop. I think this is just going to be a bit of two-category overspeed, and it looks like, here we go. What? No, it's not what happened. I don't know how to explain what just happened, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's Bjorn Dale's fault. I don't know, though. We'll leave that one up to the stewards. Either way, it's Bjorn Dale's fault the polystyrene got taken out there. That should be a 5-second penalty for Esteban Ocon in itself. Either way, moving swiftly on from that. Nopek. Well, no one to really worry about behind. Benjamin Eck still ahead as Betten there. Goes for a bit of an on-the-grass pass attempt. It didn't work out by any stretch. The front, though. Chaos. Wow, we've had dramas throughout the field, mostly up at the front. Now we have a new bottom sitter of our podium. Do we? I guess we technically do. It is, yeah, it's Bogomaz. He was in fourth, so yeah, it's been a bit of a show up at the front. Balagov just trying to hang on. He's just happy to be here right now. With 12 seconds behind James Cowley. Yeah, shocker. That is a... Well, let's just say when Armageddon comes, I want to be in a bunker made of Cowley's face, because that Lamborghini held up pretty well despite the fact that it got sent through the ringer. Bogamaz looking to make moves again. There is, everywhere you look, there is a battle happening right now. I think we have 4 battles on track currently unfolding, and we haven't had a lull in the action just yet. But here we go. Like a lion in the Serengeti, Bogamaz hunting his prey right now. He smells the blood, he can see the prey, but he's just a little too far back to pounce. He's sitting though in the grass, in the savannah, waiting for that perfect opportunity. It's just not coming yet. Falling off the back. Looking at lap times, advantage to Senatore, 146.1 for the fastest lap compared to the 146.4. However, we look at previous laps, Senatore a 148.6 to a 148.2. So currently, Nikita is quicker. Senatore, though, I think he's gotten his head back on his shoulders. He's shaken the dust off from the back marker incident that happened. And now he's ready to roll back out on circuit and catch up with the leader, Artemenko. We haven't talked about him in a while, but Yevon here, getting by one of the Alpine GT4 cars, no real issue there. He is, well, 4 seconds up the road, and quite frankly, quite comfortable doing so. Let's see if these drivers can catch. Benton still in the background of Eck, but these two still, well, pretty much. The car behind is as close to the car in front. I think that's going to be the similar situation for these two for a while. But we'll see. Benton could pull a move here over my eyes. Is he going to go for it? Into the first corner? No. Okay. I was going to say. He could have. The move was there, but it would have been a bit risky. Yellow flag's out. The 62 is back in a pit lane. Oh no. Who was that? The 62. Carlson. Return to the garage. I think one of the drivers that may have been caught up with the back marker incident. That livery looks familiar, but I think that's the same livery that we have up front, no? Or somebody up front. Yeah, I think the Senatore there. Similar-esque livery, so I might be getting confused. Now, as we hydrate up here briefly, keep an eye here on board. Let's get a sound of this Porsche Cup car as well. Just listen to the buzzing bees and we'll ride along board John Benton. Benton here may be seeing a little bit of a weakness potentially unfolding here as we go down into the final sector now, getting by the back markers, the M2s, and into the penultimate and final corner. Is the chute and the boot, is that where the move is for Benton? We saw a little bit through the outer loop of a mistake from Eck. But as we get into Sector 3 and into Sector 1, Eck seems to have every single advantage down. So we'll see. Benton here, he's got some work to do, especially with that. Gotta be careful driving off the circuit. You do that one too many times and you'll be receiving a bit of a... Oh no! I was worried about it. Whoa, what a save as Benton wrestles an octopus back under control. But the GT4 was not so lucky. That was Brinkshaw. Oh, God, let's see the McLaren here. Taken out. Oh, okay, so one car gets by. All right, let's try to break this down. And unfortunately, the Ferrari challenge there moves a little bit under, well, not under braking, but through the line. You gotta hold your line when you're a back marker. It's so crucial because an unsighted incident like that is ever so common. And Brickenshaw pulls over to the side. That's going to be a return to the garage. That's a very unsafe return to the garage. Just to be completely honest, he almost got taken out in the process. But either way, back to pit lane, and a 2-minute 30 penalty will be his as a result of that. by returning to the garage, not from the incident itself. That will be deemed by the stewards on a later basis, but in ACC, if you do click that return to the garage button, you get a 2 minute and 30 penalty just for returning to the garage. So you will have to remain stationary. It's not a penalty. It doesn't go against you. It's just, well, it goes against your race time. Now let's check back in with the front runners, at least in the Porsche Cup category, because they've had some good movement. Nopek, despite not overtaking a soul, he's remained where he started in category. He has 3 positions gained just because other drivers have decided to, well, they haven't decided, they made mistakes. Other drivers have had incidents, they've crashed out, and positions have been lost. Artem Sakin in 11th, one of those drivers, unfortunately, that fell victim, and similar story to James Cowley, who is down in 15th. Now, James should be good to go to the end, though, so he's going to be on a recovery drive. It's going to be a long race ahead of him. He's got to be pixel perfect and not make any more mistakes, but he can still end up in the top 10 pretty easily, I'd say. And even still with that, I would even say a top 5 is on the cards. It's just a long ways to go. 45 minutes left, or 47 minutes, 45 seconds, and not much to be had here. We're going to see Cowley potentially make a move on a Porsche car, but this isn't for position. This is just a bit of, I don't want to say futile effort. It's necessary. You have to get by. But Cowley is going to be driving around with a bit of frustration, I would imagine, at this stage. We should be seeing, though, our leaders coming into pit lane here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sentore try and undercut here within this next lap. We're getting down to that time. The halfway point is pretty much among us. And let's see if Artemenko goes in, or if Senatore does, or Bogamaz. I'd like to see, honestly, I wish Bogamaz pit on this lap. I think that would have been a very good strategy for him. Either way, it's not going to make too much of a difference. We'll see when pretty much anyone in the front here pits, because it's going to force a reaction from everyone. It's not just going to be one. We'll be seeing the opposite more than likely. So let's say Artemenko comes in this lap. We're more than likely going to see Senatore stay out. Let's say Artemenko stays out. I think we're going to see Senatore coming in. Doing the opposite, trying to gain an advantage where there's very little to do so. This is such a hard track to overtake on when it comes to actual battling, that you have to be strategic. You have to play your cards how they're dealt to you, and you need to make the best of a bad situation. Now, to be fair, none of these drivers are in a bad situation. They put themselves in the best situation they can, but it can turn sticky pretty quickly, and especially when you misjudge your strategy. Now, Blagov is a bit further behind than he would like, 17 seconds, so he's out of the podium contention for the time being. It can come back to him. He's got some work to do, though. Never say never. And let's see here, as we come down towards the boot heel and up towards the top of the boot, what drivers are going to be poising to pit? It'll be on the final corner. The drivers elect to do so, but I think we're going to see at least one this lap, and especially with these BMWs, that is one thing you risk, though. You go into the pit lane, you can come back out in traffic. I'd like to see Senatore, though. Now he's not coming in. He's going around the outside of the BMW. He's not going to find pit lane, or is he? No, he stays out. All right. Well, proves me wrong. Just the lone commentator, don't mind me. It would have been nice to be right, but I wasn't. We'll see on this lap then. They're going to have to pit soon. I don't think they're really benefiting from going too long. But I guess they're not really benefiting from pitting right now either, because they will just get shot out into a little bit of traffic. Maybe. It's kind of hard to tell. I think there's a chance they come out in the gap behind the 48, or there's a chance they come out in the gap behind the 91. Uh-oh. What's happened to the number 1 again? Oh no, Phil. The long smile. It's been a long time since we've seen this car smile. The gutting day. Day to forget. No. That's not how you rejoin. Oof. Not sure who that AMG was. But my condolences, sir. Look at this livery. The Bobber. Mario Mariano. What a name, first off. Let's take a look at this livery. The Bobber Quara. I'm assuming that's not English, but it's a cool livery. I love beavers. I think beavers are a really cool animal. They do like They're the only animal on the... Okay, we're derailing here slightly, chat, but they are the only animal on the planet, in my opinion, that just sees, like, a natural waterway and is like, nope, we can't have that. We can't be having nature do nature things. I have to get in the way. You know, just like humans, to be honest. And so I think us humans and beavers, you know, we got something in common. Artem, in. Yevhen Artemenko comes into pit lane, leaves Senatore to his lonesome, and Bogomaz elects to pit. One lap later than I predicted, but still, same strategy. I mean, I'm still wrong. I'm not trying to defend it. Like, still was wrong, but either way. Bogomaz, let's see if he can maybe capitalize over Senatore a little bit, gain some time. It's going to have to be a heck of an out lap, and it's going to have to be a heck of an in lap if anything's going to change. Senatore not wanting anything to do with these back markers. That was the BMW, in fact. Hold on, who is this? This is Nuno Jorge. Jorge, brother, I feel so bad for you. He has been caught up in at least 2 incidents that are not his fault. I mean, maybe. We'll see what the stewards... We'll see how the stewards rank it, but... Either way. Senatore getting held up here a little bit by a McLaren, gets by with somewhat ease. Again, every little one of these 10,000ths of a second, every back marker that he doesn't get by immediately is costing him to the drivers behind. Now let's see where Artemenko comes out. And Bogomaz, do they come out in traffic themselves? Because if so, this might be the saving grace. But as it seems, it's a pretty comfortable gap. There's going to be 1 AMG ahead of them, but that's about it for, well, quite a long while, to be completely honest. I have a nice little gap ahead. Now, Senatore, imagine it's going to come in. I don't think there's really any arguing it at this point. I think they have no choice but to call the strategy of the drivers around. If not, I think long-term they'll be hurting. Okay, here we go. I was, you know, honestly, I wasn't sure. Yeah, fair enough. Senatore here going for an alternate strategy, and I can respect that. He's trying something different. Bogomaz trying to get by some back markers now. Well, in position back markers. This is actual worst case scenario, unfortunately, for this driver. Definitely could have drawn it up a bit better, but no plan. Again, I go back to the no plan survives first contact, especially with the enemy, and that remains true, almost certainly. Zarkov gives it up. This isn't his fight. But we all know it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Zarkov, though, he isn't the biggest dog in the fight, and he doesn't have the most fight in the dog. So either way, he has to hand it up. But with that, he's still doing a great job. Let's not take anything away from Alexander Zarkov, who's leading the Porsche Cup cars currently, and he's in 4th position. Now, that'll change up, obviously, when pit stops come round, and he'll hand the lead back to Thomas Nopek, who has led pretty much every single lap, and there we go, Zarkov, yellow flag out into pit lane with a nice, safe entry. Great job. He practices pit entries. You love to see it. Now, Senatore, 65 seconds ahead. Let's take a look at pit stops. How long is it taking for these drivers? The predicted strategy for a tire change, 62 seconds. Now, let's take a look at the reality. We're looking at about 63 seconds, 66 seconds, depending on who you are. So, yeah, pretty accurate, actually. Senatore stays out again. Lap times, 146.5 on the previous, compared to a 146.1, his best. This time around, a 146.9. Pace is slowing. Pace is slowing. Let's see what Artemenko's gonna do. Oh, goodness. Well, okay. Probably not a 146.9 is my assumption. This is a bit of a headache situation and actual worst case scenario if you're in this 187 Audi. I think Senatore sees this and says, well, I'm not coming into pit lane. This is a waste of my time. I'm just gonna get caught out in this traffic here. And he's absolutely right. This has hindered Artemenko almost certainly to the point where he'll be losing the position. Whilst we've been talking, Artem Sakin, who started up at the front here, well, started in 3rd position. He was up at the front at one point in time. He's back up in a 6th. Does he still have to pit? That I don't know. He's been out for 38 minutes. He has 39 minutes left. Does he have double the fuel? Again, we'll have to find out. I don't know what the fuel capacity of these cars is, if it can go for an hour and 20 minutes or whatever it was that he came in at. Heck, I don't even think it was that. I think he came in even earlier than that. I don't see him going down to the end. I think he still has to make a pit stop. But either way, Nopek is the next victim, and almost certainly will be on this lap. Lap times, though, are surprisingly similar between these two cars. A 147.2 compared to a 147.3. Leaders in the 146s. The Porsche Cup cars are surprisingly on pace with the GT2s. What this multi-class has done for me is it's kind of enlightened me to how close the actual manufacturers and machines are relative to each other. Here we're going to see the Porsche back out. Nopek wants nothing to do with that. Fair enough. He knows he's on a different strategy. He knows he's in a different category. There's no reason to fight that. And similar to be said for Artem, but he also has other priorities a bit further up the road. With that, though, like I say, being said, only a couple seconds difference. Fastest lap overall is a 146.1. Fastest Porsche Cup lap is a 146.9. It's 9/10 of a difference. That sounds like a lot. It is a lot. And actually, I say that, yeah, that is the fastest lap for the Porsches, yes. You know, 9/10 or 8/10 of a second. Sure, that's quite a bit of time. I'm not doubting it, but it's also for them, for it being two different categories, which the GT2s are supposed to be the fastest cars, which they are in a straight line, not arguing that, just looking at the timing charts. They're not as quick, though, through the corners. And the Porsche Cups, nimble, punchy, quick, able to keep up. Surprises me. I'm not sure, chat, does that surprise you? Did you have predictions like that going into it? Who did you think was going to be the fastest? Did you think that the Lamborghini Super Trofeo would be leading over halfway into this race? I didn't. But here we are. Are we going to see Thomas Nopek go for a move on to Sucken? No, I don't think we are, but I'd be here for it if we do. Let's talk about the M2s. We haven't mentioned them in a while. Graham Potter, our leader who has been for a while. He's in. David Hill already came in for his stop as well. So this is actually the last stop in the M2 category. Let's see, does David Hill take the lead? It looks like he is. We still don't see any movement from Graham Potter, and now, just getting going, David Hill is going to be entering the first corner by the time Graham gets out of pit lane, and Graham Potter, on top of his woes, a stop-go 30 penalty for speeding in pit lane. Say it with me, folks. Everyone that knows me knows what I'm about to say. Practice your pit entries, everybody. Practice your pit entries. It's a gutting way to lose a race, and an even more gutting way to lose so many positions. Finally, though, Vincenzo comes into pit lane. He's gotten moving again. Let's see where Artemenko is, and has he done enough? Despite all the blue flags, despite getting held up lap after lap, Artemenko takes the lead of this race. Senatore comes out in second. Game on once again for the Charging Bull. I will say Audi looking like quite the strong manufacturer tonight, as it has, well, three different engines in the top three. Blue flags being waved as Vincenzo gets around his very similar livery to machine. I don't think they are actually on the same team, but makes easy work of the sister Super Trofeo. Now also, Benton, under threat from a different category. I don't think he's going to fight this one too much, as we're going to see Balagov get by. This is after his incidents. Nice and tidy. Textbook job of getting by a slower car. I will say the M2s have been not as close as I would have thought. We have quite a few gaps throughout the field here of the M2 category. I would have thought these drivers would be at each other's throats all race, but no. It turns out it's all the other categories that are just deciding to have their fun, which, fair enough. I know this isn't the first iteration of this race. FRL has done it in the past, I think for Halloween, the Mega Grid. Bringing it back for the New Year's. As I mentioned, this is a championship as well. So it's not just a one-off fun-off race, it's a one-off fun-off championship. A 3-round shootout. All, well, not all, but all on amazing tracks. But 2 tracks being North American, 1 being British. We have Watkins, Glen, that is this week. Next week, January 9th, Indy. We're on our way over to Indianapolis to fight it out there at the Brickyard. And then over to the greatest track in the world on January 16th, dubbed by me, of course, Silverstone, my favorite circuit. Yellow flags briefly out. Craig Lawyer. Looks like a bit of dirt picked up on the nose, but not too much damage. Taking a little munch out of the grass. Doing the city council out of work, I suppose, but not going to be collecting any carbon fiber souvenirs. That's the most important part of all of that. Let's look back here to the M2s. No, this is M2 and Super Trofeo. No, excuse me, M2 and Ferrari Challenge. And the M2 wins out. Gets by not just a Ferrari Challenge in the braking zone, also a BMW. No, that's not a BMW, Mike. Come on. Come on. That's an Alpine. How does that look like a BMW to you? No, it doesn't. I would use the excuse that it's a European broadcast, so it's early over here in the States. I don't even have that excuse. It's 1 p.m. It's not even early. I'm well caffeinated. I'm well awake. I just identified an Alpine as a BMW. Common misconception, I suppose. Either way, make that mistake in my day-to-day life. Take a look at the Alpine, I mean BMW, of Ian Thompson. That's a flashback. David Hill, though, leading. Graham Potter, second after serving a drive-through penalty. 67 seconds to David Hill. I don't want to say the M2 category is sealed at this point, but, you know, there's some gaps. There's some gaps being formed. Nopek and Sakin still having a bit of fun. Why don't we ride on board here with Sakin, go on board with the Maserati. No, this isn't the Maserati. This is the Audi. Again, misidentifying cars left and right, it turns out. Interesting that the Audi uses 6th gear down that straight. You can hear it sort of almost, I don't want to say it bogs down. I'd be curious if he held 5th gear if it revs out. That's one thing with the Audi in the GT4 in particular. I used to drive the GT3 a little bit. I drove the GT4 for an entire series. Never driven the GT2, but it has a weird gearbox. I don't know if this is the same. So anyone that's driven in chat for the GT2, please let me know. Very short gears. You shift very quickly. Your first gear is almost useless, especially in the GT4. It is literally useless. Second gear is first gear, more or less. So having that short of a gearbox means you're punchy out of the corners, but it also means that you can light up the tires very, very easily and spin yourself around. And it also means that your straight line speed, typically, you want an extra gear sometimes. And is using that extra gear the right thing? Is using the maximum revs on your engine the right thing? Well, again, for this car, let me know, chat. I'm an open book. I love learning. No Peck right now. He's learning the lines of the M2. It's because it pants, but not as pants the poke. 935. Fair enough, Boris. Fair enough. It's doing pretty good tonight, so I can't argue with its results short term. I don't know about long-term results, but it's certainly doing, well, everything it needs to, leading the race currently. Oh, goodness. BMW, flash of the headlights there to make sure that the BMW sees Senatore, and, yeah. heads-up decision there from Senatore. Again, you know, just, hey, buddy, I'm here. Please don't pretend like I'm not. Eck. Now stuck a good bit behind Nopec. 10 seconds is the gap as there's a GT2 separating them as well with the AMG here. Cowley, excuse me. Down in 12th. Still recovering. The battles have ceased. They were all the way around. What happened? We've had an absolute war for half the race, and then all of a sudden all of the battles at the same time decided to kind of, to put a hold. We'll be back, I'm sure. The lead is still on. Oh, fair enough, Boris. Fair enough. Like I said, I haven't driven the thing. I'm a washed-up racing driver. I just talk about driving now. I don't actually do it anymore. Those who can't do, talk about it, right? What has happened here? Yellow flags on the outer loop. That's Jonathan sailing. Let's see what happened. Here's the replay. Ooh, the back end stepping out, the front end not complying. Oy, that was a bit of a crash in slow motion, but I can assure you that was not a low-speed spin. His tires are going to be cooked after that, but thankfully, no harm, no foul. Oh my goodness, that was a terrifying rejoin, and it cut it. It's left me with a lot of questions, that's for sure. Now, those are our leaders too. Oh my goodness, that's our lead battle that we've just cut back in front of. Bit of a hold up there for Artemenko from the BMW M2. Is this going to be Senatore's opportunity? Can he get the inside line? Let's go on board with the splitter. It's going to have to be the out. Commits the long way around, lunges on the brakes, side by side all the way through the heel. Accelerating now back up to the top. There's contact as there's a bit of bumping and banging, more to go. Senatore holds fast and Artemenko gets shoved off into the side. That's a controversial one. The stewards certainly will be taking a look at that, but as those two tried to negotiate the same piece of real estate, got into quite the heated argument. No denying that. And Senatore, well, he may lead. Is it gonna hold? Is it gonna hold from the stewards? Only time will tell. And the Lamborghini is just too good around here. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the Lamborghini is doing... I did not expect it to do as well as it is. I would have expected the GT2s to win this race. I would not have expected the Lamborghinis to have a fighting chance. Uh-oh. Speaking of fighting, what's happened here? So this is Cowley. A bit of a yellow flag that happened in front of him, it looks like. And he may have got caught up in it. So BMW here on the racing line, going a bit slow, back end stepping out. Cowley, a slow motion passenger. And I mentioned it earlier that I wanted to be in a bunker made of Cowley's face when Armageddon hit. Look at how strong this man's car is. As we rejoin it, that's the lead battle. Wow. All right, that wasn't English. Cowley rejoins the lead battle, a lap down. Gutting for the 510. Welcome, Boris, again. Thank you very much for joining. I hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. I'm Mike Noss behind the booth, all alone here tonight at the FRL. We have the multi-class madness. This is what I'm calling it. It's the Mega Grid Championship, but this is madness. This is multi-class, so why not put the two together? All around, though, just a great time. We've seen action, we've seen infighting, we've seen outfighting, and we've seen all the way, well, everything in between, pretty much. Still, 24 minutes and 25 seconds, 50 seconds left to go. The move is on for the lead. The Lamborghini tucks to the inside, but decides, nope, let's try that on a future lap. A little bit too far back. He's sending it from a second postal code, not quite where he would like to be. Negotiating through the Maserati, no issues. That's another GT2 car that we just saw get by. As a back marker, shows how quick these guys are going right now. Slipstream to be had, though. Senatore, maybe to have the move on the inner loop. We all know my opinion on this look, and well, to be fair, I think Senatore, so far he's shown a lot of discretion through there. He's had a good couple chances to get alongside, and he just hasn't, which is very intelligent driving. The inner loop, not a good overtaking spot. unless you're fully alongside and fully committed to the move. Good luck. Mike Noss, Robert Boris, that's me, or Revert, excuse me, Revert. You can find me on socials, on X at Mike Noss, Insta at Mike_Noss. Been around. I've commentated for a couple people before, so if you see me, say hi. Always love when people say hi and recognize. Warm welcome feeling to my heart. So thank you all for joining me. 23 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Artem Sakin. Still questions in the air. Do we need to pit? Do we need to make one more stop for fuel? I don't know if Artem needs to or not, but I do know that Vincenzo is back to try to take the lead once more. Artemenko really, at this point, is sweating like a cow in a burger joint. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. Senatore, he's made aggressive moves in the past. He's been battered around. He's battered other people around. Are we going to see it again? We're going on the run. We're getting slingshot out of the S's, fully alongside on the exit there, at least briefly. But the racing line favors, and what has happened? I want to tune back here to what has happened here. Artem Sakin has lost the position to Craig Law, and we have now a three-way fight for fourth. This is just kind of brewed up out of nowhere, to be completely honest. Well, we got to keep our eyes in two places at once now, because battles everywhere and more. We had a lull for about 10 minutes. There was no battles happening. We're back, folks. Action's here, and it's here to stay, it looks like. Let's see what Artem has cooking, or let's see what Craig has cooking on the Nopec. The Porsche Cup car allows the Mercedes to get by, but cuts in front of the Audi. Now, Nopec, is he going to allow Sakin back through on the outer loop here? No, he's going to be a real thorn in the side and just getting in the way. Sakin there actually, or rather, Nopec, I don't think he handed the position over to Law. He's trying to come back at him. He wants that position back immediately. Goes side by side now into the toe, and the AMG slams the door in his face. My goodness. Nopec, what do you have on show for us here? Let's see. Again, moves potentially on. We're going to look to the outside, inside, but this is a defense this time, and no. We allow the faster car through. Sakin now has the opportunity to battle with Craig. Nopec, though, don't count him out just yet. We'll be keeping a very short eye on him. Nopec is, in fact, in the cup car, yes. And he's driving like that thing has a nitrous button. I cannot believe the pace that he is managing. In fact, I think he's still going for moves right now onto Sakin. He's gotten the position back from Balagov. We've just missed it. And so, wow. Or no, excuse me. My apologies. No, that did not happen. Sakin and Balakov here. Balakov in the background. So, Nopec just trying to keep these drivers honest. I don't even know. He's just cooking. Brother is a madman. I think you said it perfectly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, he is hooning it. Now, Nopec, with that being said, what is he trying to brew up? I think he's just thinking long term right now. He has the in-class lead and he doesn't need throw it away. So he just says, okay, let's not risk a contact. Let's not risk a collision. Let's just secure ourselves the victory here on race 1 and worry about Indy in the future. Sakin, on the recovery, he started in 3rd. He's back up to 5th after getting crashed out in about the first 5 minutes. And he's looking to make that here into 4th. Thinks about it. That would have been a bold send. Now, though, here is a chance. As we can line things up down towards the heel. Not going to do so, though. With that, we see still potential changes for the lead as BMW getting in the way. Try to keep an eye on 2 battles here, folks. Not easy to do. Senatore. Oh, he's got it. Senatore's going down to the inside here. Brilliant capitalization there, as there was a mistake from Artemenko. He went deep. He went onto the marbles, lost a tiny, tiny bit of traction, just a fraction of his traction. I'm using that one in the future. And he has dropped it to the bull. The Lamborghini leads once more, and this isn't the first time, and it certainly might not be the last that we've had a change in position for the lead. 18 minutes and 46 seconds left to go. There is Mario, if I'm not mistaken, and that we're just getting by. Or no, excuse me, it was, yeah, it's Mario down there, and Mario Mariano in the M2 car, giving a bit of a squeeze to the Ginetta. Gotta be careful there. And Artemenko seemingly losing out now. Let's tune back to this Nopec and Law battle, which I hesitate to call a battle because it isn't really. Nopec doesn't have any intentions of actually fighting Law, but if he gets the chance, I don't think he's going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I think he's just going to, you know, capitalize as anyone would. A bit further back, when we talk about the Ferrari Challenge category, this is not a Ferrari Challenge, this is a M2. This is a Ferrari Challenge, though, and it's Chris Jones. I almost said Craig Jones, different one. Different Jones out on circuit, currently 14th overall, first in category for the Ferrari Challenges. Behind them, Eugene Torkin, yes, Torkin, in first position for the GT4 category, currently leading over Peter Davidson and over Alexander. I'm so sorry. Is it Nuria? Nuria. I actually might be Alexander Nuria. Is that correct? Uh-oh. What's happened here? Oh, goodness. We have a parking lot on aisle 4, everybody. What's gone on here? Okay, so we have a stranded BMW in Labe. No, 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 no! Just hold your brakes! Just hold your brakes! Oh, no, who was that? That was was that Craig? Wait, no, or that is Craig Law. That's Craig Law! That was Craig Law that got involved there. Oh, goodness. And then who was the green? Was that? No, that was Sokin. That was Sokin. That was Artem Sokin as well, who has returned to the garage and quit. Fair enough, honestly. That's a day to forget if your name is Artem Sokin. Ay, ay, ay. Multi-class giveth, multi-class taketh away. Well, and it's given a bit of a headache, unfortunately, to some this time. Breaking news from Boris. I'm excited to hear what is said breaking news. I guess the news has been broken that we have another broken car. There's that. Oh, here we go. Senatore trying to go for a 2-for-1 backmarker move. That's dangerous as can be. You need both drivers to comply, or all three drivers. They have to be hyper aware of that situation, and it could end in calamity. Vincenzo's risking it all right now. He's got 1.8 seconds. He doesn't need to go so aggressive, but he's not reading this Porsche. And to be fair, I'm not either. The Porsche, a little unpredictable through the S's, but holds their line fast once they reach the straight. Oh, goodness. That was an early braking from a Ferrari Challenge car that was trying to be very nice, but in a too nice of a way. Oh, Senatore, he's just thankful to be alive right now. He says, wow, that was a heck of a backmarker stretch, and we made it. Artemenko, same story. He's got one more to go, and he's like, ooh, that could have been my race, and thankfully it wasn't. Bogomaz still has, well, he's gotten through it as well. Nopec next up to get on through. Barely Mobile Wagon becomes mobile enough to cause chaos. Yes, the BMW, breaking news, the BMW has caused breaking in the news. That is, well, unfortunate. Jonathan sailing here as well, back into pit lane. Unlucky. Unlucky. And a reminder to everybody as well, hold your brakes. When you get into a collision and you're on the middle of a circuit, don't hit the gas, don't lift off your brake. Hold your brakes from as soon as you lose control to the time that you have nobody around you. and you've checked that there's no one around you. Again, just a general rule of thumb for driving with Mike Noss. You know, if there's anything I'm good for, it's telling people to practice their pit entries and how to not make a mistake in hindsight, which doesn't really matter because the mistake's already been made, but it's about learning for the future, right? Either way, all that fighting has now calmed down again. It's the back markers is my prediction here. We're seeing a bit of issues, I guess you could call them, for lack of a better term, when you get to your own category and you have to lap cars that are in your own class. Because, well, yes, it's easy to lap a car that's slower than you. It's not as easy. Shocker, I don't think anyone could have predicted this. It's not as easy, it turns out, to lap a car that's the same speed as you. Who would have thought? So we're seeing, I think, a bit of holdups here and there. And again, I've mentioned earlier just how quick these Porsche Cup cars are, and truly how it's impressed me just how fast they are over the course of their lap times. Let's take a look back at Bjorn Dale. He's trying to get a move on to the KTM, and, well, looks like that's going to be a pretty easy one as Philip hands it over by running wide. Is he done just yet? That I don't know. Was that intentional? Was that an accident? Let's find out. We'll keep an eye on this shortly. Look, yes, Robert Boris. You have summed that up perfectly. It is like when your mom was, when you were a child and she was telling you to look both ways before you cross the road to make sure you've got insurance before you jump out in front of a fancy car. Yes, my mom also told me exactly that. No, not quite, but your point is somewhat correct. Definitely made me laugh. What's happened to Blag Up? No! Oh no! Oh goodness, that's a spin, and I wish I'd kept that live. I think I do see another yellow flag. Let's see if it was involved with that. And here we see a fully unforced error. A bit of a, well, when in doubt, flat out. That's the one time that statement has unfortunately gone wrong. Thankfully here we see the spin back out on circuit. I don't think they caught any of the other drivers there. No harm, no foul, but only harm, of course, to the spinner. Bjorn Dale, currently down in this category. Let's see, where are they in category as we pull up various... That's not the one I'm looking for. Oh, nice, as ACC TV has moved all of the buttons on me. Oh, it's done it again. Whilst I was clicking on it. All right, we're just not gonna do that. That's fine. You gotta love live TV, folks. Everything works always. Uh-oh. As John Benton has found out. No! Careful on the rejoin. Whoa, my. Okay, let's see what happened. This looks to be another unforced error. As we're going into the braking zone, we're catching up on a BMW very quickly. A little too quickly, in fact, and we had to hit our brakes mid-corner. The front end snapped and took us straight to a wall. Oof. That is a Whoa Nelly moment on the reversing. You gotta be careful. Thankfully, everyone saw the yellow flags. They lifted and they got out of the way. But what is going on? I guess this is Daniel once more, Balaglov, having just issues sticking to the circuit now, as John Benton is as well. What is going on? Is everyone falling apart with 10 minutes left? It's been 90 minutes, or been 80 minutes so far. Now as we get down to the wire, everyone getting a little fatigued, it seems. The leaders, 1.5 seconds is still the gap. Hasn't really changed. And with the back markers, it doesn't look to be changing. We'll see though, obviously, at any point in time, one wrong back marker can be the end of your race. It could be the end of that gap as well. We'll just have to see how this final 10-minute sprint race plays out. Cars all over the circuit. There's only one real spot of clean air behind the 158 in front of the 5. I don't think any of these drivers have any intention on finding that clean air either. They got bigger priorities ahead of them, like, you know, winning the race. But the thing is, again, Senatore, he's going to win this race. He technically doesn't need to. Well, if he does, I'm just saying. He technically doesn't need to because, again, it's all in category for the win. So it doesn't really matter who finishes ahead, Artemenko or Senatore. No one gets more points. Both of the drivers are going to receive the same points, regardless of who finishes ahead. But it's still exciting. And it's certainly a variable that I had not predicted. I did not know that the Lamborghini Super Trofeo was this quick. I honestly don't think it could give a GT3 a run for its money, but it certainly could try. I think it'd be very similar to the Porsche Cup car compared to the GT3s, or compared to the GT2s, where they're maybe a second, maybe 2 seconds slower per lap, depending on who you drive. It's just bragging rights, just driving the Lamborghini. I'm stealing that. Wait, Lamborghini. Wait, did I make that up? Did I just dyslexically read your thing and I came up with something? Lamborghini, I like. Lambo Super Tomato. All right, that one got me. I'll be the first one to admit it. I don't know how to respond to that. Brilliant. Thank you, chat. I love chat. Big warm welcome to everyone joining us again, either if you're watching on the VOD, if you're watching live. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's free here on FRL. And if you are interested again, want to follow any of my socials, at Mike Noss is where you can find me. And that is, I guess, N-A-U-S-E for anyone curious. But yeah, it's this has been a fun race. I'll just, like I said, how do I sum this race up? It was great. I mean, talking about the stories, talking about the dramas that we've seen from the start, like, I don't think it goes to explain. Sure, Yevhen Artemenko, he started this race in first position. He's now in second. That doesn't tell the whole story. Senatore started this race in second, now in first. Doesn't tell the whole story. Bogamas started in fourth, up to first. Again, you guessed it, not the whole story, because he didn't really have to, I don't want to say he didn't have to work too hard. He got gifted a lot of free positions due to mistakes. There was so many variables. The fact that we have a Porsche Cup car, the number 48 here of Nopec, in the top 5 is amazing to me as well. We have 2 Porsche Cup cars in the top 5, in fact, with Benjamin Eck rounding us out. And again, call it a little bit of luck due to some mistakes, but either way, it's been nothing but pure talent to keep that car planted, facing the right way at all times, and basically driving effortless, I hate that word, effortlessly to victory. We're going to have to take a nice long voice rest after this. What's happened again? The number 1. Not the first time we've seen a mistake from them. And that's Brickshaw. Oh, goodness. Or Brickenshaw. Hats off, though. Brickenshaw here. He may have been involved in 1, 2, potentially 3. He's made 7 pit stops? What the heck has happened to the long smile? Either way, hats off for getting to the checkered flag. It's all about finishing a race. These endurance races, big learning experiences all the way around. And I think Brickenshaw, he learned a couple things this time. The M2 category, my apologies, not M4s. These are M2s, Mike, again. Battling currently with a Alpine, but not for position. David Hill leading this category pretty firmly. 65 seconds over Graham Potter, who was leading, started in the front, and since got a stop-go 30 penalty, played their strategy out a little bit differently, and had to actually make 2 trips down pit lane as a result. Mariano Marino, 3rd place somehow. I have no idea how Mario has done this. He's been involved. Wait, no, Mario hasn't. Who was it? I thought Mario had been involved in a couple collisions. Either way, I think he has been involved in a couple collisions. He's just repaired it. No, I don't want to jinx it. No, I jinxed it. Oh, man. Sorry, Mario. He definitely can put that one on me. I'll just be the first one to admit it. That wasn't Mario's, or maybe it was. Hold on, let's go back and break this one down. Okay, so Mario's got a BMW on the out. Yeah, that was not on that move. That's in category versus in category. It's blue flags aren't like Formula 1. Bit of a, yeah, prioritizing ambition over adhesion. I think I said it earlier. It's very fitting. Peter Davidson, though, going for the move now, on for the lead of the GT4 categories. This is a battle down to the end. Eugene Torkin leading it, but right now we have Davison trying to give him everything he can, biting at his heels. He's lost out a bit, tucks into the slipstream, though, of the M2 ahead, the GT2 ahead. Oh my, 6 categories commentating is not confusing at all. This has been a bit of baptism of fire for any driver that is new to behind the wheel of any of these cars, because how do you even pay attention to that? But either way, so far, we've seen Eugene Torkin leading this whole time, and he looks to continue it. It's Mario over. Ah, shoot. My apologies, Mario. That's, yes, it is. Wait, Mariano. No, it's not. Wait, what? Oh. I understand. Yes, that's pretty funny. I'm sorry. I'm slow. That was good. That was good. Okay. I'm just a bit slow. It's been an hour and a half of commentating. Give me a little bit of a break here, folks. Again, solo casts. This is honestly the first solo commentary I've done all year. For shocker. No, in all seriousness, this is the first solo commentary I've done in months. So you know, it's been a while since I've had to talk for an entire hour and a half straight, and I thank everybody that's had to listen to me rambling for an hour and a half straight as well. Another Torkin point. You need to stop, Boris. But don't, in all seriousness, please don't. I love this. I need more of you. Peter Davidson, McLaren on McLaren action, the British Civil War once again. This time, not going to result in any over-the-pond scuffles. Just going to result at each other's throat for the next 2.5 laps, more than likely. Kroeg, lawyer, yellow flag in the background. And looks like, I'm not sure where that was. He's got back going once more. Still trying to keep an eye on the lead. 1 second separating those two. The pride in the ego is still on. There is the M2 getting by, needs to get it done quickly though, or decide to back out, forces one of the McLarens there onto the grass, which is potentially going to allow Davidson to come back through the outer loop, but no. A bit of discretion. Davidson, I think, just trying to predict where that car was going to go if he had a spin, and doesn't get the move on as a result. Let's take a look at the leader. Artemenko. Can he get it done? We're getting down here to the wire. Will this be the penultimate lap? No. We're about to start the penultimate lap. Maybe. Wow, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be, I think we have one more lap, but we're gonna cross the line at like 0 seconds. Yeah. Let's see. Is this the final lap? I don't know. Let's find out, folks. Senatore leading on the potentially final lap tonight. If we get held up by back markers, we'll almost certainly have this will be the final lap. If we don't, we might get another one. We'll see. We might not. That was really close. But nice and easy negotiation there. And I think for the next, well, 2 miles pretty much at this point, 3.4 miles for this track, about halfway complete, maybe a little less than. Should be signed, sealed, and delivered for Senatore on this lap. Let's see if he can keep it, or let's see if there's another lap, because again, that's still a potential option. But right now, I think that Artemenko has realized that putting on any form of effort, putting on any form of charge to get the job done would be about as useful as using a Cheeto as a deadbolt, considering that he gains nothing from it. It's all about, there's literally only time to lose. Just let Senatore have this one, you'll get him on the next one. That's kind of, I think, where Artemenko's mindset is right now. And as we approach this GT2, M2, as we approach this M2, that might be the writing on the walls. That might have been that 1 extra second that we need to finish out the race on this lap. But here we go. As we come around the final corner, Vincenzo Senatore is gonna head to the line. Will he take the checkered flag on this lap? No, he crosses it at 0-0. All right, we got one more lap, folks. This, I don't see anything happening, but we got one more lap. White flag is now out. I've never seen that close of a white flag before. That's awesome. Let's go back to Davidson and Torkin. torque about this just a little bit more as Eugene here holding on, holding fast and firm, leading the GT4 category, and I think he's going to keep doing so. It's, again, overtaking is so tough on this circuit. Now, Davidson will have one more shot down the start-finish straight. That's his best chance, and he needs to gain up as much as he can through these corners that we're currently in. Into the boot and shoot, our leader currently is, wait, where the heck are we on circuit? Yeah, we are into the final corner, yes. So right now, Eugene Torkin here, I think, has it sealed. We'll keep an eye on this as our leader is heading into the toe right now. Okay, let's hope the drivers don't run out of fuel. That's a good point. Hopefully everyone managed to calculate the one extra lap. We see a car coming out of pit lane right now, so they may not have done so. That is Jim Emanuelson, I think, that's coming out, or Jesper Carlson. One of the two. But let's see. Vincenzo Senatore, everybody. Coming around the penultimate corner complex now. Heads on down to the penultimate corner itself. The NCR Esports team, the 1-1-2 of Vincenzo Senatore. He started in second. He finishes this race in first. 50 laps complete, and he is going to take the checkered flag to win the Mega Grid Race 1 at Watkins Glen. Excellent effort all the way around for Senatore, and who would have thought that a Lamborghini Super Trofeo would take the win over a GT2? I didn't, but I was here for it, folks, and I'm glad you were too, because what an exciting battle these two managed to put on. Yevhen Artemenko, hard-fought second, certainly nothing to shake a stick at, but a first place overall in class. So that is a great result. Bogomaz there, third overall, second in category with Blagov down here in sixth, but Nopek finishes first in category, fourth on track. What a drive for the Porsche Cups. The circuit may have suited them well. The circuit may not have suited the GT2s that well, and they competed. They put on the best show they could and finished ahead of Bjorn Dale, ahead of Craig Law, ahead of Philip, ahead of Chris, Nigel, everybody down in these GT2s, and the Ferrari Challenges as well, as I'm actually highlighting the Ferrari Challenges. My apologies. What a race. Eugene Torkin takes victory over Peter Davidson as they cross the line in the two McLarens. A battle to the end, and what a fight. Almost like two titans going at it, and like the mythical Atlas who wore the weight of the world on his back, so too has Eugene Torkin. M2s? Honestly, a more disappointing race than, I mean, they have so many cars, but there just weren't that many battles, unfortunately. I'm hoping in the next races we see a bit more. David Hill, 82-second victory over Graham Potter. Now, of course, that was helped along by a stop-go 30, and look at this. Look at the teamwork. This is what FRL has to offer, everybody. We have two cars currently out of fuel, and look at the helping hand. Do we have three cars now out of fuel? Oh, goodness. Graham Potter didn't fuel it up to the end because of his early pit stop. Look at that, though. A helping hand. Who was that from? We need to find out who that Lamborghini was. It was Jesper Carlson. What a guy. What a guy. Sacrifices his own race to help out the others and then does some donuts at the end. Why the heck not? That is a true racer right there, Jesper. Great job. What a race, though. All the way around. What a championship that we have on our hands here for the FRL Mega Grid Off-Season Championship. 3 races, race 1 down to a conclusion, and it couldn't have been any more exciting. I expect big things from this championship. Sign up as a reserve if you can, by the way. I'd head on over to the FRL Discord to ask for some more information. I know the signups are full in every single category, but I'm sure that if there is a spot open that you could potentially get in for the next one. But with that being said, a big thank you to everyone tuning in here tonight. A big thank you to everyone in chat. JR Sim Racing, Straw, Jan, of course, Revert, Boris, as well as everybody that did join Tom earlier, King Phoenix. Thank you guys so much for taking part here at the FRL stream, chatting along, and a big thank you to all the VOD watchers as well. On that note, we are going to be coming down to a conclusion for this stream. I hope everybody has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.